My name is Morgan. I am an old man now. My hair is gray, and my face has many lines. I am 73 years old. I'm a retired soldier. My life is quiet now, but I remember my teenage years very well. I often think about those days. I live in a small town. My mind is often in a place far away, a place of sand and sun and loud noises, a place from my past. I was a young man when I joined the army. I was 16 years old. I was full of pride and a sense of adventure. I wanted to serve my country. I wanted to be a hero. I was just a boy. I did not understand the true meaning of war. The training was very hard. We woke up before the sun. We ran for many miles. We were always tired. We were always hungry. The sergeants shouted at us all day. They wanted to make us strong. They wanted to make us soldiers. In that difficult place, I found a brother. His name was Grant. He was a funny, kind boy from a small town like me. We helped each other. When I was weak, he was strong. When he was tired, I helped him. We became best friends. We were a team. After training, they sent us to the war. The war was not an adventure. It was a terrible, scary place. The country was hot and dusty. The days were long. The nights were dangerous. We were always scared, but we were soldiers. We did our job. We protected each other. Our friendship was our only comfort in that terrible place. Grant and I were always together. We were brothers in the middle of a war. I went to war with my best friend. He died in my arms. I came home alone. It happened on a normal hot afternoon. We were on patrol. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. Then there was a loud explosion. The world was fire, smoke, and noise. When the dust settled, I saw him. Grant was on the ground. He was hurt very badly. I ran to him. I held him in my arms. There was a lot of blood. I called for a medic, but I knew it was too late. He looked at me. His eyes were full of pain, but he was not scared. He was calm. He whispered my name. He said, "Morgan, listen to me." I said, "Don't talk, Grant. Save your energy. Help is coming." He shook his head slowly. He knew. I knew too. He said, "Promise me something, Morgan. Promise me you will go see my family. Tell them I love them. Tell them I was not scared." Tears were running down my face. I said, "I promise, Grant. I promise." He smiled a small, weak smile. He closed his eyes, and then he was gone. My best friend, my brother. He died right there in my arms in the middle of the dust and the sun. I survived the war, but a part of me died that day with my friend. The war never really left me. A few months later, I came home. My family was at the airport. They were so happy to see me. They hugged me. They cried. I hugged them back. But I felt empty inside. I was home, but I was not really home. I was a stranger in my own life. The world was too quiet. The colors were too bright. The normal life of my town felt strange and unreal. My family tried to understand. They were kind and patient, but they could not understand. They had not seen the things I had seen. They had not felt the things I had felt. At night, the war came back. I had terrible nightmares. I saw the fire and the smoke. I heard the loud noises. I saw Grant's face. I woke up shaking and sweating. During the day, I felt a heavy weight on my chest. It was guilt. Survivor's guilt. Why did I live? Why did Grant die? He was a better man than me. This question was a constant pain in my heart. I felt so lonely. I was surrounded by my family, but I was alone with my memories. I was alone with my pain. I did not know how to talk about it. So, I said nothing. I built a wall around my here. My best friend's last words were a promise. That promise was my only guide. It was the only thing that saved my life. Months passed. I was a ghost in my own house. I was lost. Then one day, I remembered my promise to Grant. It was a very hard thing to do. It was like touching a hot fire. But I knew I had to do it. I found the address for his family. I drove for a long time. I stood in front of their small, nice house. I was so scared. What could I say to them? How could I face the parents of the friend I lost? I knocked on the door. Grant's mother opened it. She had his kind eyes. She knew who I was immediately. She started to cry and hugged me. I spent the whole day with them. I met his father and his sister. I told them about Grant. I told them he was a hero. I told them he was brave. I told them he loved them so much. I gave them his last words. We all cried together. We shared our sadness. When I left their house that evening, the heavy stone in my heart felt a little bit lighter. I was not alone in my grief anymore. That visit was the first step. I knew I needed more help. I found a support group for soldiers. It was in a small room in the city. A group of men sat in a circle. They were all soldiers. They all had the same sad look in their eyes. They understood. For the first time, I talked about the war. I talked about Grant. I talked about my guilt. The other men listened. They did not judge me. Then they told their own stories. We were a new band of brothers. We were helping each other to heal. I needed a new mission in my life. The army was gone. I was not a soldier anymore. I needed a new purpose. I went back to school. I studied history. I loved learning about the past. I became a history teacher at the local high school. I stood in front of young students. I told them stories about the past, not just about wars and kings, but about normal people, about bravery and sacrifice. My new job gave me a reason to get up in the morning. Finally, I did one more thing. I decided to write a book. I wrote down my story. I wrote about being a young boy. I wrote about the army. I wrote about the war. And I wrote a lot about my friend Grant. Writing the book was very hard. I cried many times. But it was also a good thing. It helped me to understand my own story. It helped me to put the painful memories in their place. Now my life is very different. I am still a retired soldier, but I am also a teacher, an author, a man who has found peace. The nightmares are gone. The heavy guilt is not so heavy anymore. I still miss Grant every single day, but I do not remember him with pain now. I remember him with love and pride. I kept my promise to him, and in the end, that promise brought me back to life. I turned my pain into a purpose. I am living a good, quiet life, a life you would be proud of. I hope this session was helpful. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more such interesting stories. Take care, everyone.